Now, 2 days ago, ladies and gents, I did a video about the inflation or the current latest inflation figures, which of course they were released today. So on Monday when I did that video, I was doing or putting my prediction out there, and of which those of you who have watched that video, which I did on Monday, already know my prediction that of course I was expecting, or if my prediction was, we will see inflation either staying at 5.9% or increasing above 6%. And ladies and gents, today we got to see those results, and I was not actually surprised by the results we saw today, as it appears that my prediction, or the prediction that I did on Monday, was a bit accurate, because inflation today came out and the numbers, ladies and gents, came out at 6.5%, which meant that the cost of living once again just rose in SA. Now, this is something that, of course, like I said in the video I did on Monday, it's not happening only here in South Africa. This high inflation is something that is happening worldwide. I mean, in the US, we saw their CPI 2 weeks ago coming at 8.6%, which again, it was very high. And guess what followed after that? We saw the Federal Reserve in the US increasing the interest rates by 0.75%. Now, in today's video, guys, we'll be looking at the latest data which we received today, of course, about the SA inflation, or showing the cost of living in SA, which, like I said on Monday, I made my prediction. Now, before we get deep into this topic or into these results which we got to see today, you already know that this video is just an entertainment video, and if you do enjoy this video, please consider hitting that like button, comment, and subscribe. That's if you've not subscribed to the channel already, because on this channel we talk about everything relating or that's in connection with the stock market. So if you all like investing or buying shares or investing in the stock market, then this is the right channel for you to do that. Consider hitting that like button, comment, subscribe, because not only do we talk of these kind of news, but we also talk of some of the companies, if not all the companies, that I personally am investing in the stock market. And of course, I give you the reasons behind why I choose these companies. So please consider hitting that like button if this is the kind of niche, or this is the kind of info you would really like to see here on YouTube. Now, as I've said, we got to receive, or today we got the figures, or the CPI figures in South Africa, and ladies and gents, they are not looking that good, which of course makes me want to predict that even the next interest rate meeting that of course it's set to come around July, we are going to see, of course, the Fed probably aggressively increasing the interest rates by probably between 0.5 or by around 0.5% to 0.75%. And of course, what makes me say that, or what makes me to confidently want to say this, is because you'll remember, as I told you in the beginning of the video, that 2 weeks back, from the CPI figures, or from the inflation figures we saw in the US, which came out and showed us that inflation in the US is sitting at 8.6%. That, or those data, made the US Federal Reserve coming out and increase the US interest rate by 0.75%. So this is the very same thing that, of course, I am thinking that we might get to see here in SA or in South Africa. We might get to see the interest rates rising by 0.5 or 0.75% locally, meaning that some of those people, including myself, who have some of the loans that of course fluctuate depending on how the economy is doing, or depending on the current repo rate, are going to be affected by this, and our monthly loan repayments are going to go high. So if you are falling under that bracket of the people who, of course, their interest rates are not fixed on your loan, you are definitely going to feel the heat, or you are definitely going to be impacted by, of course, the July interest rate hikes, which I'm predicting that it can be around 0.5, or worst case scenario, we might see them increasing the interest rates by around 0.75%. So yes, those were the figures, and that's my prediction, and I'm basing the prediction based on the fact that not only did we see the inflation here in South Africa, or the cost of living here in South Africa, rising over 6%, but it even passed or surpassed analyst expectations, because you'll notice that, as seen on the screen, analysts were expecting the CPI figures in SA to come out around 6.2%, but it came out worse than what so many analysts expected, and it came out sitting at 6.5%. And ladies and gents, the bad news that I bring you is that inflation in South Africa, it has not reached its peak, and this is the anthem, or one of the main things that I've been saying every time we discuss inflation in South Africa, or the local inflation in our country. Of course, I've been telling you that so many analysts are still expecting, or inflation is expected to reach its peak end of this year, or towards the Q4 of this year, which is something that, of course, must just show you that we are still going to see the prices of food increases. We're still going to see the prices of petrol increasing, which is one of the things that, of course, is that it's going to continue making the interest rates to also continue rising or increasing, which is not good at all to consumers. This is something that definitely, I think, as a consumer, it should definitely open up your eyes to probably, if you were thinking of taking some loans, doing maybe some of the things, maybe these kind of situations, they just as to, of course, make you to think again if you were thinking of taking some loans or going to the banks and take some loans, because, ladies and gents, I can tell you now, the money that, of course, the bank might approve you, and of course, that's if you're not taking a fixed lending rate, you are definitely going to get impacted by, of course, the interest rate hikes that are still here to come. Now, like I said, the inflation is expected to reach its peak towards the end of this year, meaning that maybe after the end of this year, that's when, of course, the government or the central bank will come and probably start considering maybe not rising interest rates by much. Probably they might even start thinking of taking down or reducing interest rates, because you remember that the reason why the central bank comes out and want to increase interest rates is because they want to curb this high inflation. They want to stop, of course, the prices of food, or prices of a daily product that we use to rise. That's their main job. They are trying to stop the price hikes of the products we use on a day-to-day. Now, after the announcement of these inflation figures in South Africa, we saw the stock market, or the JSE Top 40, plummeting or dropping by over 2%, which is something that, of course, must just show you that the market does not like the kind of figures we received of inflation today, which is why we are seeing the JSE Top 40 today trading down over 2%. Now, this is something that must just show you that as the year, of course, unfolds, and we are seeing more and more, of course, of this inflation number rising, we are definitely going to see the market also not performing that the way that most of the people or most of the retail investors want it to perform. And of course, that is, we all want the stock market or the markets to surge. We might not see the rise in the stock market until at least this high inflation, of course, stabilizes, which is one of the things that, like I said, we'll probably see a stabilization probably of these foods maybe next year in 2023. But as for now, the prices of food, prices of the day-to-day products that we use are still expected to rise, which is something that is going to hurt consumers like you and me. It just definitely means that some of the things that we used to buy, we won't be able to afford them, which is something that, of course, just definitely means that it's time to go to the drawing board and take out some of those things that you don't really need, and just make sure that you buy important things only, as you know that some of the money you would have to still come back and invest in the stock market, making sure that, of course, you load the boat on some of the stocks that are falling sharply, those quality stocks that you've been wanting to buy, but probably 6 months down the line, they were probably still expensive. Now it's an opportunity for you to load the boat on those stocks. It's an opportunity for you to load the boat on some of those ETFs that you've always wanted to buy. Otherwise, with all that, yes, I just thought I should just give you this quick update about the latest CPI or inflation or even cost of living data which we just received today. And like I said, I personally believe that in July, when the central bank announced the interest rates, we might get to see them increasing their interest rate by 0.5 or 0.75%, which is something that it will definitely hurt the consumers. Like, otherwise, if you enjoyed this video, please do consider hitting that likes button, comment and subscribe. That's if you've not subscribed to the channel already, so that you don't miss the good content that we discuss on this channel. Otherwise, that's all from me, and I wish you nothing but the best in your stock market investing journey. And before you buy shares, load the boat, or increase your holdings in some of the stocks that you already own, please consider doing your own due diligence so that at least you can be comfortable when you are investing into the stock market. Otherwise, that's all from me, and I wish you nothing but the best in your stock market investing journey. And God bless you all.